John McDermott is a former English heavyweight boxing champion. He's fought the very best heavyweights, including Tyson Fury. Now, someone like John has got an immense amount of experience. You can learn a lot by getting in the ring with him. So here's what happened when I stepped into the ring. You'll notice that we're not wearing gloves. The reason being is because we came to a mutual agreement where we're going to try to work on our hand fighting skills of, if you like, clinching, crossing to distance, and most importantly, distance judgment. So moving around and seeing if we could play with the distance. So previously I did a video demonstrating some simple Wing Chun concepts of park and how to deal with a jab and a cross. We had a lot of comments where people were suggesting that, well, frankly, it wouldn't work because the guy that I was training with wasn't very good. Actually, he was an instructor, by the way. So we brought John in to help demonstrate the same points. Obviously, John's a professional boxer. He knows what he's doing. He's got much better timing. In fact, as a top 10 ranked boxer in the UK, he's definitely up there. He knows what he's doing. So the objective of the session was quite simple. To see if I could demonstrate 1. Controlling the distance, 2. Touch and go, which is a method I talk about quite often, and something you see in MMA today, and most importantly, how to get in and cross that distance. You see, in Wing Chun, we have this idea that if someone's in front of you, you're just going to rush in and hit them. Now, I always argue that it's not as simple as that. If you've got someone that can kick and punch, the one thing that you're not going to be able to do is just rush in and punch. So one of the things I work on quite often is this idea of drawing a lead. I use my munsao to actually try to get the person to come forward at me, if you like, so I can counter. So I use my munsao to feel the distance, to draw a lead. It's essentially a bait. So it's like the touch and go method I've mentioned before. What I do is I touch the arms, and where I touch the arms I try to bait and draw the person to come forward. Now, the touch of the arms allows me to get in and stick and cover the distance, but most importantly, what it allows me to do is feel the distance. So when I draw the lead by putting my hand forward, it usually gives me a counter. So for those of you that don't know what touch and go is, or even what drawing a lead is quite simple. What you try to do is you try to get the guy to punch, and on the retraction of the hand you counter punch, so you fill that void, and that's your opportunity to get in. It's quite a common tactic used by a lot of different fighting arts, and it's something we actually do in Wing Chun if you've got some ability and some focus on that. So if you watch quite closely, you'll see that I'm feeding the arms forward, and I'm actually trying to get John to actually come at me. So come and press forward, if you like, and put a little bit more pressure on me. When I'm moving around, you'll see that I'm trying to control the distance, stay within distance so that I can touch, hence why I'm using an open hand. The thing about the open hand is that if you can touch with an open hand, you're actually a lot closer than you think, which is an important point. So you'll see a little bit of head movement. You've got to do that with John. John knows what he's doing. And the one thing that I will say is that you actually have to move your head, and his timing is spot on. What I'm trying to do is I'm trying to actually get into his space, but I'm trying to sneak into his space rather than just walking in where I'm actually going to get picked off punches. I'm trying to ease in and follow in behind the retraction of the hand. So as the hands go back, I'm trying to sneak in and close that space so I can smother. There's another aspect, look, where I've actually pummeled in. That's a skill in itself, but that's actually an ability to feel distance. Not so easy to do, and often you need that touch and go method. And that's why I like it, because if I can touch the hands, then I can gauge and feel my distance. Feeling of the distance is key, because once I have that, I know how close or how far I am, or what it takes to get in to cover that distance. The whole point of the experiment was just to show that distance and timing is important, but you've got to be able to control it. You can't just run in and punch someone in the face, because if you do that, you're going to get counter punched if the guy knows what he's doing. So the game is knowing how to feel your way through. To touch and go is one method, drawing a lead is another method, but what we're trying to do with our approach, and this is the most important thing, is use munsao as a lead, is to feel the distance, touch and go, and try to counter punch from there. So how you get in and cross that distance is not just by running in, but by playing the distance game. Thanks for watching.